Once the site has been prepared, it's time to start stacking the forms. Staging the forms and tools on the inside perimeter of your project is recommended for faster installation times. It's often beneficial to only stage forms required for construction of the first 2 courses at this time. This can reduce unnecessary relocation of forms on the job site. Keep in mind that you will have to keep everything at least 6 feet from the interior side of the walls for setup of the Nudura alignment system. The footing or slab area where the form units are to be installed should be free of dirt and debris. Special care should be taken during the installation of the form units to keep the wall cavity-free of foreign material. Extra time spent to establish an effective layout or pattern for the form units in the first course will save unnecessary cutting of form units and significantly reduce the need for form support during the build. Start your layout on the longest wall at each corner and work towards the center, working either clockwise or counterclockwise. This also allows the forms to lock together with the DURALOK technology. Additionally, having the webs line up will virtually eliminate form compression during the concrete pour. Ensure the form units are tight end-to-end to maintain proper dimensions. The Nudura vertical joint clips replace having to tape or tie wire forms. The clips will ensure the corner and standard forms stay tight end-to-end and reduce labor during installation. For the first course, 8 vertical joint clips should be used for both the corner and standard forms. When cutting forms to fill in the wall, be sure to cut the form away from the wall to ensure foam debris is not getting in the wall cavity. Cutting the form is often necessary to achieve proper wall length. It is acceptable to cut the forms on or off of the indented cut lines on the form. If wall length dimension works out and the forms can be cut to factory dimensions, 4 inches from either side of the web, the forms are simply cut and stacked. Plan design may dictate the need to cut the forms off the cut lines provided to precisely conform to the floor plan. If the wall length dimension requires the form to be cut off the cut lines, a vertical stack joint is created. The vertical stack joint is a common seam that will be maintained up the entire height of the wall. The vertical stack joint should be created near the center of the wall run length. Simply butt the forms against one another at the vertical seam up the height of the wall. Additional bracing on the interior and exterior wall will be required to resist concrete pressure in this area. Cutting a 3-foot long or 914mm piece of form lock and installing it into each course helps keep the joint in line. Strap across the vertical stack joint with wood, spanning the vertical seam. Strapping should extend on each side of the joint and be secured to a minimum of 2 fastening strips per side. Typically, 2 straps per form height will be required to give sufficient form support. This method must be performed to both sides of the form. If the contractor or installer needs to cut a form with more than 4 inches or 102mm beyond the last web, additional form support will be necessary. One method is to use the 1-inch or 25mm fiber tape to tape from one panel to the other panel. Make sure the forms are dry and free from moisture, as the tape will not adhere to the foam in these conditions. During first course placement, the installer needs to consider the location of any T-wall intersections with the main exterior walls. These will butt cut in and installed using the Nudura T-strap accessory, which can be accessed at the link shown on the screen. This accessory is also covered later on in this video. Radius connections will typically be butt or miter joints and will require a vertical stack joint of some type. The radius wall can be constructed independently of the rest of the build. For more details on radius wall estimating, assembly, and construction, refer to the Resource Center at nudura.com. This concludes the Nudura First Course Placement video. Click the video above to continue watching our ICF Installation Guide for Residential Homes series. If you have any questions, please visit the Nudura website or contact your local Nudura sales or technical representative.